I owe you guys an apology. My last free-to-play video had some absolute misses, like Destiny 2, Throne and Liberty, and The First Descendant. You called me out and you were 100% right. Those are just greedy cash grabs dressed up in a live service trench coat. So I went back to the drawing board with one non-negotiable rule. Every game here must have an 80% positive rating or higher on Steam. No pay-to-win traps, no corporate garbage, and no sweat boxes that make you want to throw your monitor out a window. Here are 11 vetted, actually free games worth your time. The whole reason this video exists is an open-world wuxia RPG developed by Everstone Studio. If you grew up watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style movies and wished you could live in that world, this scratches that itch flawlessly. It's available on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and mobile platforms via Android and iOS. You play as someone caught up in a massive revenge plot full of betrayal and clan politics, the usual martial arts tropes, but presented beautifully. The environments are stunning, featuring misty mountains, bamboo forests, and tiny villages tucked directly into cliffs. Steam reviewers have landed it at a very positive 82%, which for a free-to-play game at this scale is genuinely impressive. The combat is the real draw here. You are executing flowing sword fights, dodging and countering, and it actually feels weighty instead of floaty like a lot of games in this space. There's also a deep building system where you can construct and decorate your own house, which sounds like a throwaway feature, but I ended up sinking more time into it than I'm willing to admit. Best of all, the monetization is strictly cosmetics only. Your combat abilities, gear progression, and character power can't be bought. You earn everything just by playing. It looks, runs, and feels like a premium AAA release while asking for absolutely nothing up front. If you prefer a darker, isometric perspective, Grinding Gear Games' flagship title remains the undisputed king of the genre on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. This is one of those games where the first hour is incredibly rough, and then somewhere around hour 5 you look up and realize it's been 3 days. The campaign is long, gritty, and aggressively grim, full of gray and brown landscapes, but that's exactly the charm. It feels like an actual world that is falling apart, not a plastic theme park. The skill system is where this game gets its legendary reputation. You aren't just picking a class and forgetting about it. Your active skills come from gems you physically slot into your gear, which you then link with support gems that dynamically alter how they behave. A basic fireball can turn into a chain lightning explosion projectile if you stack the right layout. It's completely overwhelming at first, but once it clicks, it becomes a deeply addictive puzzle of trying to break the game in new ways. Then there's the passive tree. It's a massive, terrifying web of nodes that looks like a subway map designed by someone having a psychological breakdown. You don't need to understand all of it on your first run, just pick things that sound useful and keep moving. The loot is incredibly dense too. Most of what you pick up is pure junk, but every so often something drops that completely rewrites your build. It's basically gambling, except the grand prize is a slightly better digital hat, and none of it is pay to win. For something faster, this title by Digital Extremes is the ultimate live service redemption story that the entire industry points to. It's available pretty much everywhere: PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and iOS. People usually recommend this game by saying just push through the first 10 hours, and honestly, that is accurate advice. The early game is kind of stiff and the narrative doesn't make a lot of sense initially, but once you unlock your first proper Warframe and start moving through levels with fluid parkour, double jumps, wall running, and sliding, it turns into one of the best feeling action games on the market. Each Warframe plays completely differently. Some are stealthy, some are pure tactical chaos, and others let you turn invisible or summon clones. Collecting and crafting new frames becomes your long-term goal, and each one completely changes how you approach a mission. The gunplay holds up beautifully too. Weapons have actual recoil, and later on you start slotting mods into your loadout that turn a slow rifle into a laser that melts through enemies in half a second. Story-wise, it eventually develops into one of the most fascinating, dark, and genuinely weird narratives in any live service game. You just have to survive the boring tutorial hours to get there. Think of it like a long, tedious car ride before hitting a spectacular destination. If you like survival elements but want a sci-fi twist, look into this hit developed by Starry Studio for PC. This game throws you into a world that's been completely wrecked by a cosmic event, leaving behind mutated creatures and reality-warping anomalies. It's part survival game, part base builder, part shooter, and somehow it juggles all three without turning into a mess. Building your base is way more involved than in most survival titles. You aren't just slapping down walls for shelter, you are designing defensive layouts because enemies will actively lay siege to your home. I spent an embarrassing amount of time adjusting automated turret placements like I was running a tower defense game. The reality warping anomalies are where the game finds its unique identity. Random environmental effects can completely mess with local gravity or trigger sudden storms that mutate nearby creatures, forcing you to adapt on the fly. It keeps the loop from feeling like a stale checklist of survival mechanics you've already done 100 times before. The combat is solid, and much more shooter-focused than you'd expect from the genre, with impactful guns and a massive variety of weapon types to mess around with. The store here is strictly cosmetic, which has been one of the most consistently praised parts of the experience. There are no progression boosts or pay-to-skip mechanics, just skins if you want to look flashy while hunting cosmic horrors.
Every new height brings a terrible fall.
Let's be completely honest about this next one. This is a free trial, courtesy of Square Enix. It is not a fully free-to-play game, because eventually, to experience the latest endgame content and expansions, you will have to buy the game and pay a monthly subscription fee. But calling it a trial is almost misleading because of how much they give you up front. You get access to the entire base game, plus the first two massive expansions, Heavensward and Stormblood, all the way up to level 70 with absolutely no playtime limit. That is hundreds of hours of one of the most critically acclaimed narratives in modern gaming handed to you for free, indefinitely. The early game can feel a bit slow if you're used to rapid-fire MMOs, as a lot of early quests involve running back and forth talking to NPCs. But if you stick with it, the story eventually becomes a masterpiece. By the time you hit the first expansion, the writing gets genuinely gripping, with stakes that feel completely earned instead of forced. Combat starts simple, but every job, their version of a class, plays distinctly once you unlock more abilities. Best of all, you can switch jobs on a single character just by swapping your weapon, meaning you're never locked into one playstyle. The community is also famously chill and patient with newer players, making this the lowest risk way to try an MMO. If your friend group needs a highly competitive shooter, this creation from Embark Studios is easily the most visually spectacular choice on Steam right now. Available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, it features environments that are fully destructible. The arenas are basically made of cardboard. Walls crumble, floors collapse, and entire buildings come down mid-fight. This completely rewrites how you think about positioning because the cover you are hiding behind can vanish in a single second. The game structures its playstyles around 3 distinct builds. Heavier builds can tank damage and smash through concrete with heavy explosives. Lighter builds are lightning fast and grapple across rooftops, while medium builds sit in the middle with healing and support tools. The destruction isn't just a gimmick either. You can detonate the floor right out from under an enemy squad or collapse a roof on top of someone camping a corner. Every match looks entirely different by the end of the round, creating a constant tension as you scramble to grab cash and deposit it while the world is literally being torn to pieces around you. Every gun and gadget is unlocked purely by playing, and the monetization is strictly cosmetic.
For fans of traditional MMORPGs who are tired of being nickel and dimed, ArenaNet's long-running game is the ultimate antidote. Available on PC and Mac, the core base game is entirely free to play permanently. No trial periods, no time limits. But to be totally transparent, if you want to play the later expansions, unlock mounts, or access the modern endgame content, you do have to buy the DLC packs. Even with that barrier, what you get for free has aged incredibly well, mostly due to how it handles questing. Instead of standing around waiting for a gold exclamation point above an NPC's head, the world features organic, dynamic events. You just walk into a zone, find a town under attack or a massive boss wandering the fields, and jump straight into the fight with everyone else. Combat completely abandons the traditional, rigid, holy trinity of tank, healer, and DPS. Everyone has access to an active dodge roll and self-healing skills, making fights incredibly mobile and fluid. The world design is exceptional, with every zone featuring its own mechanical theme, hidden areas, and brutal jumping puzzles that will absolutely make you rage quit after falling for the 10th time. It's a massive, high-value free experience that completely respects your time.
If all of these high-octane grinds sound completely exhausting, this title by Singularity 6 is the perfect cozy palate cleanser. Available on PC and Nintendo Switch, this is a relaxed life sim MMO built entirely around farming, hunting, fishing, crafting, and decorating a homestead in a vibrant, peaceful world. Think Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley, but set in a shared online space. What makes it work is that despite being an MMO, it never feels crowded or stressful. It feels like a quiet, shared sanctuary. Sometimes you'll just wave at a random player passing by your farm, and that's the entire interaction, which fits the low-stakes vibe perfectly. The crafting and interior design systems are deep enough to lose entire days in. You'll start out trying to put together a basic log cabin and end up completely redesigning the floor plan 3 times because you unlocked a new set of furniture. There's even a bit of genuine mystery buried in the lore regarding ancient ruins and ancestor storylines, giving the world some real weight. It is 100% free, with a completely ethical cosmetic-only storefront. For a completely pure co-op experience, this project developed by the Reactive drop team for PC is a spectacular hidden gem. This is a top-down tactical squad shooter, and I want to stress exactly how free it actually is. There is no in-game store, no battle pass, and 0 microtransactions of any kind. You just grab up to 3 friends, pick your specialized marine classes, and try to survive relentless alien hordes. It nails a heavy Aliens movie vibe. Each class serves a strict tactical role. Medics keep the squad alive, tech specialists hack security doors and disable alien eggs, and the heavies bring the raw firepower. Coordination is mandatory here. The aliens swarm in massive numbers, and if your squad runs off in different directions, you will be wiped out in seconds. The atmosphere holds up incredibly well for an older title, utilizing dark corridors, flickering flashlights, and a constant suffocating tension. It's a simple, high-consequence game where everyone ends up yelling directions at each other and laughing when it all goes horribly wrong.
If you want to completely ruin your sleep schedule, this legendary psychological horror game from Team Psychscaler is available on PC, where it somehow still maintains an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam while remaining completely free. Built on the old Gold Source engine, it holds up perfectly if you miss that classic survival horror style where ammo is scarce and every single encounter is lethal. You play as a young man wandering through a twisted, nightmarish version of a deserted city, and the game leans heavily into surreal, psychological dread. The combat is intentionally clunky and restrictive, which actually works entirely in the game's favor because you are never meant to feel powerful. Running away is frequently the smartest choice you can make. There's also a brilliant inventory mechanic where you can dual-wield a weapon alongside your flashlight, but the flashlight actively drains battery power, forcing you to constantly calculate whether you want to see clearly or save power for a worse situation later. If you want a gritty, rough-around-the-edges horror experience that relies on suffocating atmosphere rather than cheap jump scares, this is a masterpiece.
No!
Finally, if you want a massive open-world anime RPG but you're tired of games that feel like they're playing themselves, Kuro Games' flagship title is the absolute gold standard on PC, mobile, and PS5. Let's be completely honest up front. This game is a gacha game at its core. While the base game is entirely free, it is designed to tempt you into pulling for new characters and weapons. But if you have the self-control to ignore the premium shop, what you get for $0 is an incredibly polished AAA experience that easily rivals full-priced releases. The real reason to play this game is the combat. It completely throws out the slow, stat-heavy turn-based mechanics of older RPGs in favor of hyper-fast, skill-based action. You are constantly swapping characters on the fly to trigger intro and outro skills, parrying massive boss attacks in mid-air, and executing perfect dodges that slow down time. It feels closer to a character action game like Devil May Cry than a standard mobile RPG. There is also a brilliant ecosystem where every single monster you defeat in the open world has a chance to drop its soul, allowing you to literally absorb them and summon them mid-combat as an extra ability. It gives you a genuine reason to go out and hunt across the map, making exploration feel rewarding instead of just a checklist of chores.
Go after it. I'll handle the rest.
That's it for the 11 free games. Before you start typing the name of the game title that I missed, maybe drop a like first. And if you want more of these game breakdowns, consider subscribing. It's free. Catch you guys on the next one.